Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopijana Vallabha Jaya Girivaradhari Jaya Gopijana Vallabha Jaya Girivaradhari Jaya Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Banachari Yamuna Tira Banachari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Radha Giridhari Radha Giridhari Radhe Jaya Giri Govardhan Jaya Giri Govardhan Jaya Giri Govardhan Jaya Giri Govardhan Jaya Laddu Gopal Jaya Laddu Gopal Jaya Laddu Gopal Jaya Laddu Gopal Jaya Jagannath Jaya Jagannath Jaya Baladev Jaya Subhadramai Jaya Panchatattva Jaya Panchatattva Jaya Panchatattva Jaya Panchatattva Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Gurudev 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev जय श्री राधा गिरधारी की जय जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्रा मैया की जय लड्डू गोपाल की जय गोनिताई की जय श्री प्रभुपाद की जय गुरुदेव की जय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल all glories to assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna to you all again, and please accept my humble obeisances. Today I am starting fast from the Srila Prabhupada Lilamrita and planting the seed in chapter 19. I am sharing the screen. It's visible, Mataji, right?
Yes, Mataji. Thank you.
Thank you. But when I got over to Second Avenue, I could find Hare Krishna. There was a gas station, and then I walked past a little storefront, but the only sign was on that said matchless gifts. Then I walked back again past the store, and in the window, I saw a black and white sign announcing a Bhagavad Gita center lecture. I entered the storefront and saw a pile of shoes there. So I took off my shoes and came in and sat down near the back. Steve, I had a feeling that this was a group that was already established and had been meeting for a while. I came in and sat down on the floor, and a boy who said his name was Roy was very courteous and friendly to me. He seemed to be one who had already experienced the meetings. He asked me my name, and I felt at ease. Suddenly, the Swami entered, coming through the side door. He was wearing a saffron dhoti, but no shirt, just a piece of cloth like a long sash, tied in a knot across his right shoulder and leaving his arms, his left shoulder and part of his chest bare. When I saw him, I thought of the Buddha. Bruce, there were about 15 people sitting on the floor. One man with a big beard sat up by the front on the right-hand side, Leaning up against the wall, after some time, the door on the opposite side opened and in walked the Swami. When he came in, he turned his head to see who was in his audience, and then he stared right at me. Our eyes met. It was as if he were studying me. In my mind, it was like a photograph was being taken of Swamiji looking at me for the first time. There was a pause. Then he very gracefully got up on the dais and sat down and took out a pair of hand cymbals and began a kirtana. The kirtan was the thing that most affected me. It was the best music I would ever heard, and it had meaning. You could actually concentrate on it, and it gave you some joy to repeat the words Hare Krishna. I immediately accepted as a spiritual practice. Um, so I can, yeah, I can stop here, Mataji. Thank you.
Thank you.
Srila Prabhupada Amrita ki jai. Before going to the verse today, just I'm taking the blessings. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naranchaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayat Srinnatang Shakatha Krishna Punna Shravana Kirtana Hidayantasthabhi Abhadrani Vidhunati Suhit Satam Nashta Prayeshu Abhadreshu Nittam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttamasloke Bhaktir Bhavati Nashtaki Vasudeva Para Veda Vasudeva Para Mokha Vasudeva Para Yoga Vasudeva Para Kriya Vasudeva Param Gyanam Vasudeva Param Tapa Vasudeva Paro Dharma Vasudeva Paro Gati Mukham Karati Vachalam Pangham Langhayate Girim Jatkripatamham Bande Paramananda Madhavam Sri Gurum Dinataranam Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Today's verse sharing now. From Canto 4 and from chapter 25 and verse number is 48. Just I am reading fast and then you can repeat after me. And that verse. Nalini Nalini cha prag Dwara ekatra nirmite Abadhuta shakhastabhyam Vishayam yati shaurabham Nalini Nalini cha prag Dwara ekatra nirmite Abadhuta shakhastabhyam Vishayam yati shaurabham Nalini Nalini cha prag Dwara ekatra nirmite Abadhuta shakhastabhyam Vishayam jati shaurabham. Would like to read anyone, please? You can go ahead.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Nalini Nalini cha prag Dwarav ekatra nirmite Avaduta sukhastabhyam Visayam yati saurabham. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you, Prabhu. Anyone? else? Would like to go to synonyms? Would like to read anyone's synonyms?
I'll try, Mataji.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you. Nalini, of the name Nalini. Nalini, of the name Nalini. Cha, also. Prak, eastern. Dwarav, two gates. Ekatra, in one place. Nirmite, constructed. Avaduta, of the name Avaduta. Sakha, with his friend. Tabhyam, by those two gates. Vishayam, place. Yati, used to go. Saurabham, of the name Saurabha. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you, Prabhu. Would like to read translation?
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji. Go ahead.
Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Translation. Similarly, in the East, there were two sets of gates named Nalini and Nalini, and these were also constructed in one place. Through these gates, the king, accompanied by a friend named Avadutta, used to go to the city of Saurabha.
Purport you can read. Continue. It's small purport, Mataji.
Okay. Purport. The two gates named Nalini and Nalini are the two nostrils. The living entity enjoys these two gates with the help of different avaduttas or airs, which constitute the breathing process. Through these gates, the living entity goes to the town of Soraba or aroma. In other words, the nostrils, with the help of their friend, the air, enjoy various aromas in the material world. Nalini and Nalini are the pipes of the nostrils through which one inhales and exhales, enjoying the aroma of sense pleasure.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Before going ahead discussion, just I'm seeking the blessings for glorification of Lord and purification of my filthy heart. And thank you, Mataji and Prabhuji, Sima Mataji, to give me the opportunity for the discussion and for this sloka today. And just invocation I am doing to get the blessings from Guru and Gauranga. Om Agyanang Timirang Thasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chaksurunmitang Jana Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Manohishtam Sthapitang Jena Bhutale Shayam Rupam Kadamayam Dadati Shapadantikam Bande Hang Sri Gurung Sri Yuta Padakalam Kamalam Sri Gurung Vaishnavangsa Sri Gurung Vaishnavangsa Sri Rupam Shagra Jatang Shagana Rughanathan Vidam Tam Shajivam Sadvadhaitang Shavadhutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakhan Pitangstu. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dino Bundhu Jagatpati Gopesha Gopikakanto Radhakanto Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishavhanusute Devi Pranamami Hari Pri Vancha Kalpataru Vescha Kripa Sindhu Bhaye Vacha Patitanam Papanebho Vaishnavebbho Namo Namaha. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Charu Swaminiti Namini Snikta Cheta Shupranita Vagminam Charasapratam Prabhupada Gata Prananomi Bhakti Charu Padam Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamiti Namini Namaste Saraswate Devi Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Shunyavati Pastak Visutarini Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasati Gaura Bhakta Brinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare. This I'm stopped the sharing, and before stopping the sharing, translation I can read again. Similarly, in the east there were two sets of gates named Nalini and Nalini, and these were also constructed in one place. Through these gates, the king, accompanied by a friend named Avadhuta, used to go to the city of Saurabha. So our discussion is going on for the fourth canto and the chapter 25 and 48, the characteristic of King Puranjana. So just little bit recap that for my understanding, and I'll repeat it again and again. Those already the devotees discussed about that. And that it's a allegory of the city of 9 gates that we found from the text 25 and to 29. The central character in the allegory is a king named Puranjana. Just I'm sharing my part, but yeah. Puranjana, and that Sanskrit word Puranjana means, who enjoys the body. This Puranjana means we are the departed from the spiritual world by misuse of our independence. King Puranjana journeys through the material world accompanied by Avadhuta, accompanied by Obhiggata Shakha, means unknown friend. This unknown friend is that super soul. God accompanies all super souls in the material world as their unknown friend, who observes, sanctions their activities. Actually, both matter and the souls in the material world are energies of the God. That actually for both material matter, and he is the single spiritual source. He wants to find a suitable place, means that Puranjana, Prachin Varishat, and he searches for a suitable kind of body to inhabit. He tries many kinds of bodies on many planets. And this is that attractive city, the city of 9 gates. And she is the Puranjani and he is the Puranjana. That Puranjana comes to the place, this is the attractive city that called Nabadwarapura, the city of 9 gates. He finds it's a bit attractive, and it's actually represents that our human body. And Puranjana wanders through the gardens of the city, and he encounters an extremely beautiful woman. And Puranjana is attracted to her, and she attracted to him. She becomes his queen. And next, I found that how Puranjana and Puranjani, the conscious self is Puranjana, and Puranjani, the woman, is the subtle material element called intelligence that we came to know about the intelligence, how we should use our intelligence in material purposes and physical purposes. But this woman, that Puranjani, the queen of the Puranjana, Prachin Varishat, is a subtle material element. And they enjoy the city of 9 gates, the gross physical body, means Puranjana, the conscious self, to enjoy the city of 9 gates, the gross physical body. Just I'm employing the computer analogy to understand that Puranjana represents the user. The city of 9 gates, the computer hardware. This hardware is in the disk and the what called hard disk, CPU. And Puranjana and Puranjani, my queen, the software that allows the user to interface with the hardware, use it for practical purposes. That Puranjani is not alone, however, but is accompanied by 11 bodyguards and a serpent with 5 heads. It's showing, 5 heads. The bodyguards comprise the mind and the 10 senses. And we know the 5 knowledge acquiring senses and 5 working senses. And all tenses are grouped around the mind and are considered servants of the mind. They are all servants of the mind. Each of the servants has 100 of wives. The wives represent desires for material experiences, and the senses act under their pressures. Under their pressure means, senses act under their pressure. And the senses are different from the physical sense organs. The senses, along with the mind and intelligence, are part of the invisible subtle material covering of the soul. And these physical organs of sensation are eyes, nose, tongue, ears, skin, legs, arms, mouth, anus, and genitals are part of the visible gross physical body. And the body itself with 9 gates is made of gross material energy. As per Vedic science, Vedic medical science, the body is powered by the 5 subtle airs, that prana, apana, vyana, shamana, and udana. This is 5 airs, which is the vital force and represented by a 5-headed serpent. This is the according for that our Srimad Bhagavatam. And the senses are compared to attendants, the queen. And this is allegory story that Narada Muni is convincing to Prachin Parishad. And when Prachin Parishad, the king, is asking what's the origin of the queen and her attendants, and it's telling about the text 26-27. The queen replies in text 33, she does not know who has begotten her, and she cannot speak perfectly about this, or she doesn't know the names of the origins of the associates with her. She is telling, oh great hero, we only know that we are existing in this place. We do not know what will come after. Indeed, we are so foolish that we do not care to understand who has created this beautiful place. For our residents, we do not know who will come after. Indeed, we are so foolish that we do not care to understand who has created this beautiful place for our residents. So just she is giving the answer like the scientist, that she doesn't know from where she has come. This is that material intelligence. And she's telling she doesn't know anything, only she knows who is protecting her, and she knows who are friends, and and somehow they are come here, and that is great fortune. So, and it is that king can live here for 100 years, and everything for his senses gratifications will be supplied. That Queen Puranjan is telling. Now, the description of the gates. That today's description is for that two nostrils. Yesterday, Prabhu has discussed two eyes. That this is that our actually 5 things, which is the in front of our face, and this is eastern side. The 9 gates. This is eastern sides, and 7 gates are on the surface, just like 2 eyes, 2 ears, 2 nostrils, and a mouth. And 2 gates are subterranean anus and genitals. These gates are facing to the east. That yesterday Prabhu was telling about the 2 eyes. One is the left is bit, also in the sloka, is low, and this is like glowworm, and this is like torchlight. So today's like 2 gates called Nolini and Nalini. Nolini and Nalini. That represents the nostrils. The king goes through these 2 gates with friend called Avadhuta, actually representing breathing airs. We can tell this is the Vayu, the demigods of the air, Vayu. And Prachin Parishad is going to the Shaurabha town and with the Avadhuta. And we will read about tomorrow about the mouth, the eastern side facing. And we found that we should also in the astrology, and also Vastu Shastra tells our house should be facing in the north side in the in this southern hemisphere, because sun comes that way. And if sun comes, our all darkness will goes up. And this is the name of the different gates, even in the Jagannath Puri. If you go, you will see that it's written Sinhaduar, the different types of gate. So actually, in material point of view, why we have 2 nostrils? We can have 1 nostrils, isn't it? Do you have any idea why we have 2 nostrils? Any idea? Anyone give the answer? Nolinikant Prabhu, your any medical aspect? Okay. Actually, surely we could manage with just 1, but when we close 1 nostril and breathe through the other, we will notice, I have also noticed the less more air, like yesterday, more to see and less to see. This is also same. The air flows more slowly through the open nostrils, while the other perceives nauseous of smell. So we need both nostrils for the full olfactory experience. Some animals use their noses to recognize from where smell is coming. And we have very good experience in that Auckland airport when we are coming from the custom how the dog is smelling, and he can smell. If you put the tulsi leaves, he can find with the smells. And also this nose, it's useful for the respiratory system. And that air comes from the nose and goes from the heart and the respiratory systems. And we practice alternate nostril breathing to restore equilibrium and feel calmer. And we do that when feel our sensation, we are angry, how our breath comes, and when we feel calm, how our breath comes, we experience. Our two nostrils function separately via two different nerve currents, which current with the right and left hemisphere of our brains, means like two hemisphere. When there is equilibrium between the two entities, we feel calmer, more balanced. This is the techniques we use. Even I was listening on Suchinanda Swami Maharaj that how to do chanting. And his one tips is, he told, we have to do pranayam, means taking long breath before you start your chanting. And all that means is a departmental head, like who will be the departmental head of that wind, that Vayu is the departmental of wind, and like the departmental head Surya is the sun god. Sun god is the departmental head of sun. Surya. And Chandra means Soma. He is the maintainer of the trees and plants throughout the universe. For moon, we means get the taste. And this all the demigods made by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Krishna. And Indra, all we know, he is the god of rain and thunder. Agni is the fire of God. And Varun is the water. And the woman's he is the demigod of the watery kingdom, and Jamraj is the Dharmavid. He is the superintendent of death. Now we are discussing about the nose, and from Shastra I found its nose makes person very beautiful. Even in our Shastra, that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's nose, just I was searching and found, yes, his nose is like a sesame flower. It's so nice to read that. And I was comparing, these two things, and I found really his nose is sesame flower. That it has been given Sri Gauranga Mahima, Susloka Satakam, that the sloka is like that. Bintala Kamala Bhaktra Pakba Bhina Padar Swash Tilo Kushu Nashu Nasha Katbu Kantha Shudirgaha Subalito Bhuja Danda Nabhi Gumbhira Rupaha Spurato Hridaya Madhe Gaura Chandra Natendraha Tilo Kushu Nashu Nasha Kanbu Kantha Shudirgaha. His face is flawless like blooming lotus, and his lips are red as ripe as bimba fruits. His nose is as beautiful as the sesame flower. His nose is as beautiful as the sesame flower. I never experienced, I did not see sesame flower. And from the web, I found the sesame flower, how it looks like. And it's really look like his nose. And his neck is like a 3-ringed conch, and he's very tall, and his rod-like arms make artistic movements while he dances. His navel is very deep. May my Lord Gaurachandra, that king of dances, reveal himself in the core of my heart. That is the features of Lord, raised nose. And this makes beautiful. And this is the beauty, is the opulent of the Lord. And that beauty can attract people. That name is Krishna, is the all attractive. He is the most beautiful person. Even cupids get attracted to Krishna, to attract the conditioned soul. And also we can see the form of Lord Krishna and Shukdev Goswami. That so nicely it has written in the Bhagavatam with the raised nose. The Lord face is repeatedly very beautiful and pleasing in attitudes. To the devotees who see him, he appears never to be displeased, and he is always prepared to award benediction to them. His eyes, his nicely decorated eyebrows, his raised nose, and his broad forehead are all very beautiful. He is more beautiful than all the demigods. So this is the form of Lord. This is original Vishnu form. Sometimes someone tries to meditate upon the impersonal Brahman, but Bhagavad Gita is still, it's abhakta, I mean impersonal. We cannot concentrate, and we have to attach with the personal feature, and impersonal feature is very troublesome to concentrate about the Lord. And if one's want to concentrate to the form of the Lord, and it is described like that, his face, his eyes, lotus eyes, and his ears, and his hands. So that's like Dhruva Maharaj. He has seen him in front of him within 6 months because his meditation with the personal form. Even we have seen that Vyasadeva was only 16 years old, and his look like, his features look like Krishna. His legs, hands, thighs, arms, shoulders, forehead, and the other parts of the body were all delicately formed. His eyes were beautifully wide, and his nose and ears were highly raised. He had a very attractive face, and his neck was well formed and beautiful like a conch shell. So these bodily features, how we seeing the bodily features, we can tell this person is from this family. And the astrology also can tell, seeing the features of the nose, who is some fat nose, raised nose, that person, how the personality will be the person. So bodily features also depends upon on our previous activity, that how we have done previous life. So our bodily feature will be like that. That's why that Bhagavad Gita 15.9 is telling Shatram chaksung sparshanam cha rashanam ghanam eva cha adhishthaya manaschayam vishay anu upasevati. Any bodily features due to our own activity and karma. No one can design who will be parents, who will where we can take birth. We get birth as per our karma. The individual soul actually is transmigrating one body to another, and his present body and present activities are the background of the his next body. Means the past and then present and future. So the living entity taking another gross body obtains a certain type ear, eye, tongue, nose, and sense of touch, which are grouped about the mind. He thus enjoys a particular state of sense of objects. That if we want to sleep, means our desire, I will sleep 24 hours, then I will be the next life with the polar bear. I'll sleep, always sleep. So this is that actually fact. Our thinking depend upon our activity, depend upon our next life will carries on. So then how should we use our noses? How should we engage, and how we can use properly? This, the next, as far as the eyes are concerned, they should not be allowed to see anything but the beautiful form of Krishna. It's telling of the Bhagavad Gita 13, chapter 8 to 12, that all slokas is telling about that. And in that way, we can control the eyes. Similarly, the ears should be engaged in the hearing about Krishna that we are doing every day, and the nose in smelling the flowers offered to Krishna. Because we have to engage in proprietor of senses. In that way, we can control our senses. And we found that, the smelling of the fragrance of lotus leaf. Who became devotee? Do you know anyone from the Shastra? The smelling the fragrance of lotus, feet full of tulsi leaves, became a devotee. Before they were impersonalist. They are 4 Kumaraj. This is also beautiful sloka that from Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya-lila 17, 142. Tusharabindo nayanasya padarabindo kinjal kamishta tulasi makaranda vayu antargata sabivarena chakara tesham shankha bhomokshara jushamapi chitta tanno. This Chatur Kumar immediately offered their obeisances unto the Lord when they entered in the Vaikuntha. Simply by seeing the Lord and smelling the aroma of Tulsi, and saffron from his lotus feet, the Kumaras became devotee and abandoned their long cherished impersonalism. This the four Kumars turned into the Vaishnavas simply by smelling the aromatic tulsi mixed with saffron. So how powerful if we smell that aroma of tulsi leaves and offer to the Lord. That's why when any festival comes in the temple, we try to beg that tulsi, give us tulsi, give us tulsi from his lotus feet, and also the devotee distributed to all. Then again, we found how to use our nose, controlling our nose by doing the pranayam. That found from the Canto 3 and text 28 and sloka is 12. Yida manaha sambirajam yoge no shuchamahitam kashtham bhagavato dhayayet shonashagrabha loko naha. When the mind is perfectly purified by this practice of yoga, one should concentrate on the tip of the nose. Means when we do the pranayam, we need to do the yoga at the tip of the nose. When we control like that way, we can see the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This is though it's very difficult process, but still, we can use our nose in that way, proper ways. Also, Ambrish Maharaj, in third canto, how he uses his senses to engage the service of the Lord. Our senses know for service to Lord. Incense, we give the incense. Today also when I did the arti, and I found that incense is giving so nice smell, nice aroma. And yeah, we feel nice. And we have to offer to Lord, then we can smell. And using that nose gives a good result. If we use the proper way, it's the good result. And if we don't use the proper way, it's give the bad result. So some incidents from the Chaitanya Charitamrita, that bad results giving, and that Gopal Chakraborty, he is the the tax collector, and the assembly of Hiranya and Govardhan Majumdar. And they were the uncle of Raghunath Das. And Haridas Thakur came in that assembly, and he was giving that discussion about the holy name. How is the potency of the holy name? Because he used to do the 392 rounds. 392 times he used to chant 108. So, but that Gopal Chakraborty was really was Mayavadi, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu always tell that Mayavadi hoy Krishna Aparadhi, so don't mix with them. But this impersonality, young man, he could not tolerate the glories of Krishna or the holy name. And this is that Chaitanya Charitamrita, the Antar Leela, the 198, the sloka. That Vipra means that Gopal Chakraborty is telling, নামাভাসে যদি মুক্তি নাই তবে তোমারও নাক কাটি করিহ নিশ্চয়. Means if one is not liberated by namavas, because that Haridas Thakur is telling, if the namavas, you will get liberated. So he's telling, if one is not liberated by namavas, then you may be certain that I shall cut off your nose. So dangerous. So then Haridas Thakur Haridas Thakur is telling, Yadi namavashe mukti naya tobe amaro nak katibu. Means Haridas Thakur telling, and he has taken the challenge that offered by Gopala Chakraborty, if by namavas liberation is not available, he said, certainly I shall cut off my nose. So 3 দিন ভিতরে সেই বিপ্রের কুষ্ঠ হইলা অতি উচ্চ নাশ তার গলিয়া পড়িলা. Means within the 3 days that Brahman was attacked by leprosy, and as a result his highly raised nose, because he was very beautiful, he's a Brahman boy, melted away and fell off. So the Brahmana's toes and fingers were beautiful, like golden colored champaka birds, but because of leprosy they all withered and gradually melted away. So although Haridas Thakur tolerated this itself, but Krishna could not tolerate it. So he immediately punished Gopal Chakravarti by giving him leprosy. So we have to use our nose properly, not to offense anyone. Sometimes we poking the nose. You tell, why you are putting the nose here and there. And also nowadays in that big industry is what called rhinoplasty is going on, that all celebrities, modelers, they are making their nose raised to look beautiful, but they don't know what's the purpose of the nose, and they don't know from where they come, and they always think about their body that will be vanish one day. And first, actually, rhinoplasty has happened in the Shastra. Anyone know first rhinoplasty happened? It's with the Shurpanakha. And surgeon was Lakshman. And where this lila is happened? Anyone know of the city, the name of nose? That it's lila is happened where Lakshman cut the Shurpanakha's nose. Do you know anyone? It's very holy place in India. The one. It's the Nasik. This Nasik city means nose, and thus city got its name because this is the most principal places, one of the most holy places in the Leela of Sri Sitaram Lakshman. It is here that Lakshman cut the nose of Surpanakha, the sister of demon Ravan. So Nasik is very holy place. Just I'm giving the about the Nasik place because holy place. And this is here the Panchavati, and it's called Panchavati. Ram Lakshman spent about 1 year of their exile before Ravana kidnapped. And still it's there, that Kalaram Mandir, where the Panchavati, that Ram Lakshman Sita was living there. And Ram Kunda is there, where Lord Ramchandra used to take bath. And Sita Gump, where Lakshmana hides Sita in the cave while Lord Rama fought with Khar, Dishan, and the other 1400 Rakshasa. And this is that Dandakaranya forest. It's in that Nashik. And Lakshman performed the tapasya to kill Ravana, son Meghnad, means Indrajit, in this Nasik. And this is the place of Dandakaranya forest as well. This is mentioned in the Ramayana, Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, 79, chapter, and 19 to 21, and Chaitanya Charitamrita as well. So Nasik is very important holy place. That's actually when we poke our nose in somewhere, means offense, so destroyed comes. And that, the Surpanakha, when tells about the beauty of Sita, then Ravana thought this Sita for my enjoyment. She tells to Ravana. And these are all material life when if we don't offer and cannot center the Krishna. So all destroyed, even Sri Lanka, how destroyed. So if I poke nose around someone business, our nose will cut. So my MYOB is very famous, mind your own business. And we Vaishnava, actually, our real beauty is the putting the tilak, and it's giving the remind of tulsi leaves and the lotus feet of Vishnu. We used to make the temple beautiful, and where Supreme Personality Godhead Lord Krishna can sitting on our heart, and which reminder both inside and outside. That I discussed about the nose. So who is the originator of this nose? Let's see who is the originator. Originator of Nalini and Nalini. So all we know that who is the originator. Because the Lord Krishna is telling about this slok 2:10:20. Nashike nirabhiddetang dudhuyoti nabhashyati tatra vayurgandha baho grano nashi jigrakshataha. When the Supreme Purusha desired to smell odors, the nostrils and respiration were generated, the nasal instrument and odors came into existence, and the controlling deity of air carrying smell also. So this is from the Lord, because when Lord wants to desire to smell, it's manifested. That it also in the Upanishad, that everything is first desired by the Supreme before the subordinate living entity can act upon it. The living entity can see only when the Lord sees. The living entity can smell when the Lord smells, and so on. And he can simply think of doing something independently, but he cannot act independently, means Jivatma. And this independence in thinking is there by the also grace of the Lord. But the thinking can be given safe and proved by the grace of the Lord. And that's why we say sometimes, what wrong things happen, that the man proposes, we plan, but God disposes, he sanction. Because the Lord is the Parasya Shakti Vividaiva Shriyate. Everything done by Supreme Person of Godhead's potency, Lord's potency. He is the multi-potencies. So everything happens by from him only. So also means our human life, how should we abide follow his rule? If we don't abide, what happens? It is telling in that analogy that Bhagavatam, Canto 1, 13:42. Chatha gabo nashi protash tannayam badhascha dambhabhi vyaktantyam namabhi ribadha pahanti balim ishituho. As a cow bound through the nose by a long rope is conditioned, so also human beings are bound by different Vedic injunctions and are conditioned to obey the orders of the Supreme. Means if the cow bound through the nose by a long rope, we have seen how cow binds, even bull, when he plow the land. So every living being, whether man or animal or bird, thinks that he is free himself, but actually no one is free from the severe laws of the Lord. And if we don't follow, so God will bring massive danger, and it is to be faced by the lawbreaker. Such laws, the Supreme, are generally is known of codes of religion. And under different conditions, but the principle of religion, everyone is one and the same. But the principle of religion, to obey the orders of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the codes of religion. This is the condition of material existence. All living beings in the material world have taken up the risk of conditioned life by their own selection and are thus entrapped by the laws of material nature. That's why we are here, and we used to tell Dukhala Shashat Satam. And also, Lord has given the way to get out. And the only way to get out the entanglement, to agree to obey the Supreme Lord's rule. So, and also we found that the Lord came out, and his incarnation came out the Brahma's nostril. This is incarnation of Lord. This is also very nice to know the nose utility. That when means that Canto 3 Brahma was thinking, so when he's doing the creation, and the earth is inundated by a flood, and is gone down into the depths of the ocean. And what can we do who are engaged in this matter of creation? Then he concentrate to Almighty Lord. And all of a sudden, when Brahma was engaging, thinking about the Lord, a small form of boar came out from his nostrils, means from Brahma's nostril, and it's look like its description is there. It's like a upper portion of thumb, very small. And that boar came out, and he became taking a gigantic, as a great elephant. And this 3:13:21 is telling Kimetam shukara bicham shatvam dibbam avasthitam aho batascharam idam nashaya me binishchitam. It is some extraordinary entity come in the pretense of a boar. It is very wonderful that he has come from my nose. So beautiful form of the Lord. He came as a boar to rescue the earth. So how is the nose, and that our nose activities and results we found, if our purpose is smelling the flowers and take the aroma of the food, and when we have taken the prasadam, it's that Lord saliva is there, and it's purifying the senses, and our tongue also purifying. That Amrish Maharaj, how he engaged, and actually our purification process, it has given in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, that Madhya Leela, that the sloka 172. Sharvapadhi binurmuktam tatporitveno nirmala Rishikesha Shevanam Bhaktir Uchyate. Sharvapadhi binurmuktam, free from all kinds of material rejection, or free from all desires, except the desire to render service to Lord. Because the Krishna is the master of all senses. When the spirit souls render service to the Supreme, and its two side effects happen. And this is free from material resignation, and one's senses are purified simply by being employed in the service of the Lord. And that way, we grow the bhakti. Even Lord Rishabhadev, stressing the devotional service, and he's including that that 5 sense and 5 the gathered knowledge and 5 sense with the working knowledge. These 10 senses and the mind should be fully engaged in the Lord's service. Without engaging them in this way, one cannot get out of the clutches of Maya. Even Bhagavad Gita is telling 5 chapter 5 and slok 13. When the embodied living being controls his nature and mentally renounces all actions, he resides happily in the city of 9 gates, neither working nor causing work to be done. So if we keep the center of the Lord, then we are free. And that Setasara Upanishad, that 3.18 is also telling, Nabodware pure dehi hamsha lalayate vahi vashi sharvasya lokasya sthavarasya charasya cha. This Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is living within the body of a living entity, is the controller of all living entities all over the universe. The body consists of 9 gates, 2 eyes, 2 nostrils, 2 ears, 1 mouth, and anus, and the genital. The living entity is the conditioned stage, identifies himself with the body. But when he identifies himself with the Lord within himself, he becomes just as free as the Lord, even while in the body. And also found in, that Jajati and Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 9, 1851, he was trying to enjoy the, for 1000 years, he was engaging his mind and 5 senses for the material position, and he is not satisfied. So if we want to satisfy, we have to satisfy Krishna first. And this actually Kodindriya, unpurified senses, can be purified to engage the senses and the mind in Krishna consciousness. That Sarvapadhi Vinirmuktam Tatpajpana Narmalam. One must be freed from all designation. When one identifies himself with the material world, his senses are impure. But when one achieves spiritual realization and identifies himself as a servant of the Lord, his senses are purified immediately. And engagement of the purified sense in the service of the Lord, it's called bhakti. And Rishikena Rishikeso, Sevanam Bhakti Ruchate. One may enjoy the senses for many thousand of years, but unless one purifies the senses, one cannot be happy like Jajati. So that's why we have to go through the purification process that Srila Prabhupada has given, and we are doing every day. And just like when we are giving that or engaging our senses by that prayers and by doing the arti and putting the bhoga and taking that prasadam, and also when we are doing that, our Gayatri, in that last Gayatri mantra, we are asking Kamdev to control our senses. In that way, we can purify senses. In the last slides, that when We are prayers honoring prasadam. We are praying that Lord Krishna, Namo Prasade Govinde, Namo Brahmane Vishnave, Shalpa Punno, Bhatan Rajan, Vishashanai Vajayate. How the nice meaning. For those who have amazed very few pious activities, the faith in Mahaprasad in Sri Govinda in the holy name and the Vaishnava was never born. So if we have faith, so we will never born. Every day we do this way, and we have to take in from my heart, because when I was reading it, I found it's very relative in that how to engage our senses. And that Sarira Vidyajal, oh Lord, this material body is a place of ignorance, and the senses are a network of paths leading to death. Somehow we have fallen into this ocean of material sense enjoyment, and of all the senses, the tongue is most precious and uncontrollable. It is very difficult to conquer the tongue in this world. But you, dear Krishna, are very kind to us and have given such nice prasadam just to control the tongue. Now we take the prasadam to our full satisfaction and glorify our Lord Sri Radha Krishna in love. Call for the help of Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda. How Srila Prabhupada has given us that system. So if we follow and if we have taken from our heart, surely we can engage our senses to Rishikesh. So in that way, we can go back to Godhead. Hare Krishna. I am finishing my session today. Thank you very much for listening patiently. Thank you. Hare Krishna. If any questions or anything, please go ahead. So we can discuss and you can discuss your realization or any questions. I will try to keep the response.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dhanavad Pranam.
Dandavat Pranam Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Such a well-researched presentation. So much information you have gathered. Thank you very much for this nice presentation, especially engaging all the senses and the sense of the Lord to purify our senses. That's the crux of the verse. Thank you,
Yes.
Mataji, for this point.
Thank you. Hare Krishna. Everything has given by Srila Prabhupada.
Anybody else got any comments or realizations or questions? Please come forward. We still got a few minutes.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. Thank you so much for the wonderful class. So many nice references. So I was thinking the purport is so short, but so nicely the right use of the nostrils you emphasized, and also the various stories from the Puranas as well, and how the Lord himself has come out from the Brahma's nostrils. So I really enjoyed today's class. Thank you so much, Mataji.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, thank you for a very well-researched and amazing class.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Yeah, if we no comments, we can conclude our class today. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa
Sindhubhya eva cha
Patitanam pavonebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Ananta Koti Vaishnavrinda ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. All glories to assembled devotees.
Her Grace Sita Anandini Mataji ki jai.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai. All glories to assembled devotees. Hare Krishna.